How we doing out there? I'm Servant. I am Pisces, or one of them. Anyhow, we've been having a wonderful day, I hope. I have been shooting out a few videos here and there. This one right here, you know, is something that people really don't know anything about. And it's Chemosh, which is another deity. And a lot of people don't understand how these offset deities have a lot to play in your life. The point of why, where, when, how the youth today think that they're, Furbies, whatever it may be that they think they are. They haven't been told that they're children of God, of gods. The thing about it is that what had happened? What happened to the people? So X and then millennial. So where does it fall? How did it fall? Being pushed against, telling them you don't have your own children. You just support those children, and we'll convert them to whatever we want them to be. Well, that was the understanding. I'm sure of it. I'm sure that the parents, wanted to see something completely different. But as soon as the Furby or the pagan or the Satanist or the narcissist figured out that they could scam the system on both sides, you and the system, or just get away with it altogether. Understand that, the thing that has to turn around is the point of the father isn't going to put up with it. The point of data centers getting hit overseas, the point of gas fixing to go sky high, the food's fixing to go sky high, things are fixing to really get out of proportion. Do you actually know what you're doing as you're going into this? The investment that's being made to break the middle class's back. Look, it's a sad thing that all these programs that they've put together have always been against you. And it's sad about how the program is being forced overseas and how the program is going to force you into a corner. Understand, if you owe debt, somehow, maybe sell that debt. Maybe sell it somewhere, get the debt off of you. Maybe you're in a home that is not conventional. Maybe you bought too big. Maybe you stretched yourself out. Maybe one of you lose your jobs. And look, the jobs, people, y'all are fixing to figure it out. Because AI, most people go, well, we can work from home, remote this, remote that. Understand when AI comes swiping through and takes your job. The point of taking care of yourself, taking care of your family, stocking up, herbology, understanding how things were done back in the day, bringing your community together and working with the community. People are not going to all be of like mind. You're always going to have Judases in the crowd. And when you do have them, they'll isolate their own selves. And then they'll try to go against you. So understand that however you got to be, however you got to do it, work it out. Work it out with the people if you can. Bring it up. Talk about it. Because look here, being by yourself, being one, okay? Now, maybe after everything falls apart, maybe you have to go to one. Maybe you have to go to ground. But understand that in a community, you can take care of a lot more. As long as you keep an eye on everybody. You're going to have to make a battle plan. So understand, as it goes forward, and as everything comes forward, the Father's got it, okay? If you're saved, or if you're not saved, you need to go get saved. Because this is probably a pretty good time for you to really think about it, okay? The point of understanding that anybody that's lukewarm at this point in time, he is waking everybody up. His remnant is floating today. So what I'm trying to tell you is that you need to spend the time with the Father, spend the time in precepts, statutes, commandments, testimonies. Don't back off. There's no reason to. The thing about lukewarm, in it, not in it, in it, not in it. Look, you've heard what I've read, okay? And this is all through everything. I always end up going back to the same thing. Being lukewarm, always being understandable. Maybe you are a pagan. Maybe Satanists are listening to me. Well, let me tell you something, guys. If you're doing witchy woo-ha and doing all these things, see if you can turn yourself around here. Because guess what? Living eternity in hell for the rest of your eternity. Okay? Rest of eternity. Maybe you've read something that I haven't. Maybe you did read Satan's 10 Commandments or 12 or whatever he's got. Maybe you think that is biblical somehow. It is biblical. Satan is Satan. That's about as biblical as it gets. But understand that as you're turning around, you understand that he doesn't care about you. He doesn't care about you no more than the man on the moon. Okay? So understand this. All of you, look, you got to understand that the Father is moving. And if things go a different direction, then Jesus is coming back. Okay? It's all about the Temple Mount. So if you see it get destroyed, look, when we build that temple back, I hope it's not man-made. The point of it being is man made this whole thing up and made it to go in that direction. As far as us being drug into the deal. Well, everybody realizes where we're at now. I hope you do. Because the point being is that, look, finding Jesus, okay, and putting him on your heart and staying with him and keeping Jesus on your lips, okay? Father, Jesus, spending time with the Father, doing the right things, being a stand-up person, being trustworthy, truthful, honest, honorable, all these things. Help your community, help your elderly, help the people, okay? As much as you possibly can. I said that, as people start leaving the cities, if there's something happens here in the United States, you can make up little bags, $2 or $3 bags of hooks, sinkers, just little stuff that somebody can take care of their own stuff with. Snares. You might take 5 minutes to show them how to rig. Okay? They can find a stick. They got a cork. They can find grasshoppers. So understand how you help somebody by not coming in and stealing your stuff or taking your stuff. You come out and you help them to the point where you can. But when it comes to taking away from your own family and away from all the things, understand there has to be a justice line drawn. So do what you can for everybody. You might send them off with a loaf of bread. Bake up. Always have something stuck back for somebody. Enough to feed 4 or 5. A big old loaf of bread, homemade baked bread, whether it's baking powder or whether it's yeast, help them out. Help anybody you can. The point of Chemosh, or it's called Chemosh. Chemosh, the god of Moab, so named in an ancient Israeli song, alluded to in Jephthah, refers to Chemosh as god of the Ammonites, either by mistake or because of Ammon also whispered Chemosh in addition to Moloch. Solomon introduced the worship of Chemosh into Jerusalem to please a foreign wife, though thereby he displeased his God, the Most High, righteous and loved. Joshua defiled the high place of Chemosh, putting an end to its use as a place of worship. Mesha, king of Moab, suffered a great disaster in his rebellion against Israel, in consensus with which he offered his son Tehira to the throne of Moab as a burnt offering. The inscription on the Moabite stone shows that the sacrifice was made to Chemosh and described in terms whose similarity in style to the terms employed by Israelites of the true God. Only ancients that contrast between the two. The help which Mesha believed Chemosh had given his people in war, and Chemosh, under the chastisements which Chemosh meted out to them when they were unfaithful. The understanding that all of these types of deities always end up in destruction, whether it be your destruction or somebody else's destruction. The point of Furbies, pagans, Satanists, whatever always comes up, they always end up getting destroyed. Why? Because there's only one God, Yahweh. And they don't really want to know that. They want to live their own life in the flesh. Understand, that's not how this works. The Father wants you to realize what's going on. I'm working on some other things that I'll start getting out there to more people. But stock up, put some cashiers back, get the people together, get your church together, understand what's going on. I think this is Wednesday night, The thing about it is that all these things need to be talked about because your next door neighbor might not have anything. And guess what? They're going to come off you. So understand when you're giving them information, you helping them prep. So understand how this works. Don't be overly zealous. Take your time at what you're doing. Take your time with the people. Don't expect it to be all bad at one time. It's going to be bad, but don't think it's going to be all bad at one time to where you have to go into fight or flight mode. Right now, it's just understanding what's coming. If it does happen, then it's popped off. Then if it don't happen, guess what? Praise God. But anyhow, you're the most wonderful people of the Most High God, okay? You're His children. He just wants to spend that time with you. And then it's serious enough to where you got to understand. Chemosh is the understanding that all these deities and all this witchy-woo-haw and decrees and everything that everybody's created didn't really understand that it was going to run amok. Or it was compounded. When you compound so many things upon yourself and upon the people, it becomes bewildering or being in a spin cycle because you don't know what direction your earth is even turning. So understand none of that has anything to do with you. You just got to get on one-on-one planet with the Father. God's natural law, precepts, statutes, commandments, testimonies. And understand how He's got that laid out. Now, the point of understanding your commandments. Understand that everything that would be wrong with every commandment out the other side. Thou shalt not kill. Okay, well, I set a trap and it wounded him, but he ran off and died. Well, that's still taking a life. Understand that how this works. The point of understanding everything that comes out of the commandments onto you. And understand that how the judgment works. Judgment is you can heap it upon yourself. The double tongue, the gossip, the understanding of being mean to somebody, or using a double tongue to talk about somebody in a different way, even in different terminologies. So understand that where you're standing at with the Father, and understand what's going on in the world with the people. I mean, you are wonderful people. The whole world, you're wonderful people. You're children of God, okay? Just understand that you really have to understand what's going on, because your world is fixing to be rocked one way or the other. So, investments, how you're going to do things, how things, they're going to keep on saying it's going to rock this way, rock that way. All you got to do is watch your bonds. Watch the bonds market go south. And when you see that going south, then you see the dollar going to waste, which won't be worth anything. Gas is going to go out the roof. Your interest rates will probably skyrocket. So what I'm saying is that if you have a chance to get out from under some of your bills, I'd start trying to get out from under now. Doesn't mean you have to take a loss. Nobody likes to take a loss. But anyhow, stay with the Father. Keep Jesus on your lips. The Father's in you. Okay? You got allegiance angels. And that's a fact. So whenever you cry for help, make sure it's in truth. All about truth. Anyways, I'll get off here. Y'all are the most wonderful people in the world. I love you. The Father loves you. Just understand what's going on. And understand what the Father's doing. There's Jesus on his way back. Anyways, I'll get off here. I am servant. And I'm definitely a Pisces. Y'all have a good one.